Good afternoon. Close, just making this on. I normally do that ahead of the time, but I missed it. I missed it this time. All right, we have ourselves a red day on the market. So what can I say? What can I say? There's a lot of factors going on here today. One, we had the CPI. Both the CPI and the PPI came out earlier this week, and they did show, and we're talking on the Fed side, they did show a slight increase in inflation. It's really not that much, but it's certainly enough to get people a little bit worried. People are also, they're also kind of worried about what's going to happen with that rate cut. So that has certainly put some uncertainty into the market. The other thing that we're seeing here today, is, well, if you guys remember, we had that Trump pump that was inflating the markets a little bit. And the euphoria of that has kind of just drifted away. And so we're sort of coming back down. We're settling back down to where we should have been. So a lot of this is just a little bit of a correction for that pump. So it's not really any super bad thing to be super worried about. But yeah, it's a red day. It's a red day pretty much right across the board. Let's actually let's take a look. Let's actually jump on over into the charts. You can see the TSX is down 6.69%. We're still well above that blue line, which means as long as we stay above this blue line, it means that we're going to have a green month. So that's our goal. Stay above the blue line. We're still doing fine. The S&P 500, now they're down a lot more. They're down 1.45%. So they've had a little bit of a drop. The NASDAQ, even worse, 2.43%. So the NASDAQ absolutely suffering with some of this red. I mean, look at this. This is a lot. This is a pretty big drop that they have undergone. So let's hope the NASDAQ can get themselves in order, especially before next Wednesday. Next Wednesday is NVIDIA's earnings. So we'll be, well, of course, we will have a market close then. So we'll watch and see what happens. It's going to be interesting. The Dow Jones also down a little bit, 0.83. Gold is down 0.02, so pretty flat mostly. Silver's down 0.60. Oil down quite a bit, down 2.25%. Crypto, different story. Bitcoin is actually doing okay. Doing okay today. We're up 4.34%. Up here, this green line, that's our latest all-time high. So, are we going to get back up there? I've really been kind of expecting a little bit of a correction before we push too much further beyond this. But it'll be interesting. One of the things I am really looking at is this pink line up here. So this pink line, I'm going to get rid of these other pink lines because that was just me demonstrating something. This pink line is the $100,000 Bitcoin. So when we get up here, I'm expecting a pretty big retracement because that's a very big psychological level, 100,000. So it's funny, people tend to think in terms of sort of like your pretty numbers. We'll call them pretty numbers. 100,000. That's a pretty number. So psychologically, we'll probably see some sell-off when we get here. When? Who knows? Who knows? Could we get here by the end of November? Maybe. I definitely think we'll get here before the end of the year, though. So that's all that fun. Ethereum is also up a little bit, 0.63. Let's actually go take a look here at our heat maps. Whoops, I got all the bad stuff turned off. Let's turn the bad back on. And holy banana bread. We got ourselves a lot of stuff going on here. Just give me a second. There's a little thing that you guys can't see, but it was kind of blocking half of my screen. We got a lot of red. Like, look at this. C&Q's down 2.75. Alimentation Couche-Tard, 2.61. CP is down 2.17. Enbridge down 1.83. So there's a lot of red in the market. Amazingly, though, Bell is up 0.34%, TELUS is up 0.19%, and Rogers is up 1.60%. So there are winners out there today. Not many, but there are some winners. All right, heading to the And once again, I got all the bad stuff turned off. All right, here we go. Oh wow, look at this red. It's not a good day for tech unless you're Tesla. Tesla is up 2.71%, but everybody else is just suffering. Look at this. Microsoft down 2.88. Google down 2.23. Nvidia down 3.27. Apple down 1.54. Yeah, there's a lot of red. Even over in the soft drink world, Pepsi is down 4.25 and Coke is only down 1.57. Does that mean that Coke is better than Pepsi? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Who's better? Who is better in your book? Are you Team Coke or Team Pepsi? Oh, you know what? Guys. Just give me a second here. I'm going to, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to drop in a poll. All right, start a poll. All right, Coke or Pepsi? All right, let's spell Coke right. All right, Coke, Pepsi, or we'll go with other as well. We'll see. There we go. I've just started a poll, guys. Let's find out. We'll check this a little bit later. We'll see who wins between Coke, Pepsi, and other. All right, I love that. Right in the spur of the moment. So yeah, a lot of companies not doing too good today. Let's take a look at crypto. Crypto, another story altogether. Look at this. We got a lot of green in here. Bitcoin up 4.33, Ethereum up 0.5, Dogecoin up 3%, Solana up 2.39. Pretty darn cool. All right, let's go to the losers of the day. So there's about 14,000 crap coins out there. I like to just pick some coin I have never heard of, and then we'll just take a little look at it. Here we go. Multi-chain. So multi-chain, look at this. It's worth 11 cents. So at one point it was up here worth 24, almost 25 cents. But once again, I don't know what this does other than it's definitely something to do with multi-chain means something. So I'm thinking there's something in there. This may not be one of the worst crap coins I could have picked, but it may also be the worst. I don't know. I know nothing about this. So what I will always say to you guys, avoid the crap coins. If you're gonna dive into crypto, there we go. If you're going to dive into crypto, stick with the coins we know. Stick with the coins that stick with your Bitcoins, your Ethereums. Even Dogecoin is not a bad investment compared to some of the 14,000 crap coins that are out there. And I'm not a big fan of Dogecoin, but I have a feeling it's going to stick around though. That's a thing, even though it was created kind of as a joke. Cardano, look at this. Actually, look at this, 16.26%. That's not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. That may be the winner of the day amongst the better coins. Amongst the better coins. All right. It is time to head on back. Whoops. What happened there? It's because I hit the command on the wrong thing. All right. Let's get back to Big Me and let's hit the comments. All right, we got CG saying hello. Hello, CG. Good to see you. Mario's in the house with a good afternoon. Paul says not red. That's right, because Paul, Paul's looking at a lot of crypto and MicroStrategy. They're in the green today. That's kind of that one area that's doing really, really good. All right, we got Missy in the house with a hello, everybody. Guys, after this, be sure to check out Fairfax Financial, the video that dropped today. That is the video that was sponsored by Missy. So it's a really good one. I knew it was a good company, but after doing the deep dive, I'm like, oh boy, this is even better than I thought. So definitely worth checking out for sure. Larry says, a shorted X US steel at 44, now it's 35. Trump said he'd block the buyout from Nippon, Japanese company, for a price of 55 US steel. Was 25 before the buyout announcement. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Paul says MicroStrategy opened at 327.67, peaked at 350 at the last 30 minutes. Now it's 343.50. Nice. Oh my God, I cannot get over how much, how good you are doing, Paul, with between MicroStrategy and Bitcoin. You're taking names and yeah, you're doing that whole thing. It's fantastic. GID says, let's see, on these days you really know who the good companies are. Loblaws, Dollarama, Fairfax Financial, yeah. And I haven't even looked to see how Fairfax Financial is doing today. But well, now I have to look now, don't I? All right, let's do that. Oops, we'll try that again. Command 5, or actually Command 6. Sorry, I'm already on Command 5. All right, let's head over here. FFH. Here we go. Oh, they're down a tiny bit. They're down a tiny bit, but not much. I mean, quite literally, they're down 0.296%. Let's just go to the 1 day. Let's go to the 1 day. So yeah, they started up here. They were moving forward, but that's actually not bad. That's not bad considering how badly most of the stocks are down. This is really, really, really good. All right, we got Patricia in the house with a hi, and Paul is talking about MicroStrategy. Hey, you know what? We're here. Let's pull it up. MSTR. Here is our MicroStrategy. All right, let's pull it up. And this is on the 5 days. Let's just go to the 1 day. So yeah, look at this. They opened up here at 328, and they're up here right now at 346, just as what Paul was saying. So he's been riding this up. Just look at them in the last year. They've gone from $53. So let that sink in. $53 to $347. And that's just 1 year. Some of the smart money has been playing this for sure, which includes Paul. So that's not too shabby at all. All right, let's see here. Crypto. I know. That was funny. Paul says expand U.S. market for the plus 3% or higher. Oh, you want me to do that? Okay, I can do that. Let's head back to the let's go to the U.S. market. Yeah, we'll get rid of everybody in the low. Well, 3% or higher. Here we go. So we got Tesla in here, 3.14%. MicroStrategy, 3.94%. Look at Disney, 5.40%. Now, I heard some rumors that Disney was buying back shares. So that could be very, very interesting. So that's neat. Alexa, stop. Alexa just started for some reason playing Christmas music, so I'm trying not to get a copyright strike. So Jill's not a big fan of Christmas music, so I have no idea how she started. She just started on her own. It's like she's possessed or something. Another one here. Look at this, Coinbase, up 9.65%. So obviously some of these are crypto related. But the Disney one, definitely very, very interesting here. You can sort of see we had quite a big jump here today on Disney. I also believe they had their earnings. Let's actually take a look at that while we're here. DIS is our good old Walt Disney Company. All right, let's pull them up. Bang. Oh, I just realized I lost track of the time. Oh, look at this. That's a massive pipe jump. All right, let's take a look. Whoops. Whoa, what the heck is that? That's chart settings. Okay, here we go. So yeah, look at this. They beat on earnings by 3.10%. On revenue, they beat by 0.36%. So nothing wrong with that. And announcing that they're going to do share buybacks. Looking good for Disney. And they had a nice jump today to get us all in the mood for wherever they're going. So, and Disney has made a lot of changes recently. I think they're finally getting the whole idea, like with some of their big properties. So, for example, Marvel, Star Wars, I think they're sort of realizing that people don't want quantity, they want quality, and they're starting to move back in that direction. So I think that's fantastic. I think that will do them very, very well. I know with Marvel, for example, I would rather see, a few really good movies every year instead of a whole bunch of mediocre ones. So I like the fact that they're moving in the right direction. All right, we got about 10 seconds to the bell. And I love the bell. It's like, what can I do in 5 seconds? Well, now it's like 3 seconds. Here we go. Here we go. All right. And the market is now closed. Love it. Love it. All right. All right. Missy says, I like the Fairfax Financial deep dive. I read in the comments that one guy put everything in. I'm tempted to put more in as well, but is it a rule of thumb not to do more than 5% on one stock? Yeah, diversification is important. I love Fairfax Financial. Looking at that deep dive, yeah, it's a solid company. It's a blue chip. You're probably not, I mean, if you went all in on them, you're probably not going to lose your money. I really, really highly doubt. But there's this thing called a black swan event. So what if their CEO, what if all of a sudden it comes out that he was embezzling from the company? I doubt this will happen. I really, really doubt it. But what if he did? That would certainly tank the stock, and that could hurt you. That's why you don't want to always have all of your eggs in one basket per se. It's always good to be well diversified, because even though, look right now, you look at MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy is doing fantastic. You could put all your money into MicroStrategy, but what if the crypto bear market or the crypto winter, what if that starts sooner than you expect, and all of a sudden you go to bed tonight, Bitcoin's 90 something thousand, you wake up tomorrow morning and Bitcoin's like 60,000. Where do you think MicroStrategy is going to be? They're going to be down there as well. That's one of the reasons that it makes a lot more sense to diversify. My rule is for a single company, 5%. If that company invests in a whole bunch of different things, so for example, something like a Brookfield Asset Management or a Canoe or even Fairfax Financial, I'm okay with going up to about 10%. And then sector-wise, I try to keep it at about 20%. But I mean, you're always going to go over, and sometimes like right now, I think my Brookfield Asset Management is up around 6%. Although initially it was around 5%, but I'm still within that 10% with them. But the reason it went up an entire percent is they have been absolutely exploding. Well, let me show you guys since we're here. Good old BAM, Brookfield Asset Management. All right, here we go. Let's go to the last year, and they've exploded. So that's what will happen in your portfolio, right? When you get some stocks that absolutely explode, maybe you had, let's say right around here, you had your 5% allocation. Then it explodes, and next thing you know, going from 54 to 78, you may end up with, 6 or 7%, depending on how many you had. That happens. That's why sometimes we look at rebalancing, how we're going to rebalance. Some people will be like, okay, I'm going to do my quarterly rebalance. Maybe I want BAM at 5%, so I will just sell a little bit of BAM to knock them down to that 5%. You don't want to be doing this all the time. Like, you don't want to be trying to rebalance every day, because, the market's going up and down. You look at it like maybe you're 5% here. Let's say here you're 5.2%, and then you're back to 5% the next day type thing. So you always kind of want to, for me, I like to do a quarterly. I like to do a quarterly rebalance. And, with for example, BAM, I'm probably going to leave them be, because as I said, because they hold multiple companies, I almost treat them almost like an ETF because of that, even though they're completely not an ETF. But I sort of look at it that way because there's that extra diversification, because they've got their fingers into so many things kind of like Fairfax Financial. They do a lot of investment as well. Canoe, exact same way. They're an income fund. They do the same thing. All right. Vineet says, hi, everyone. I hold SWVL from years ago, and it might be making a comeback up 26% today. Crap coins, I hear you say. Well, that's the thing, though. Crap coins are a lot like penny stocks. You know, you don't know which ones are going to explode. Some of them will, absolutely. A lot of them aren't. A lot of them are going to plunge. And you guys have seen, like, we've looked at a lot of them, and we've seen a lot of them that have been plunging and not doing very well. But you will find, you know, and if you are lucky enough to invest in one that does, because, you know, most of the good coins today started as crap coins, and then they became good. You know, it's just that the chances are you're probably not going to hit those. So some people, what they might do is they might say, okay, well, maybe I'll invest in about 10 crap coins in hopes that maybe one of them does okay. And if one of them explodes and the others just sort of stay low or maybe even sink a little bit more, hopefully the amount you make on the one that explodes is going to make up. It's going to make up for the other one. So just something to keep in mind. MicroStrategy plus 6.21%. Holy banana bread. Yep, absolutely. Yep. And we got Mary in the house. So guys, that means that we need some likes. We need some likes hitting the, hitting the thing right now. Like right now, I think there's 30 people here and 12 likes. Let's get that likes up to 15. That way there we could say half of you like. And while you guys are hitting that like button, I'm gonna have some coffee. Oh, that is so good. Oh, definitely good. All right. There we go. We got 13. Well, at least we're slowly getting there. We're slowly getting there. All right. There we go. We got the 15. Look at that. You guys rock. You guys absolutely rock. Okay, GID says, is there a Canadian business Bitcoin play like MicroStrategy? I think Mark Moss was starting one. There's none that come to mind when it comes to, at least not at the same level of MicroStrategy. There are mining companies, but right now they're kind of lagging behind. Like I think the mining companies will start to become, I think they'll really explode in value once we get to a point that Bitcoin really starts pushing like past 100,000. I think that they're going to do really well at that point. Christmas music. I know. You watch, Missy. Tomorrow I will get an email from YouTube and it will say, there's a copyright claim against this video. And what I'll have to do is I'll have to let it delete out that little piece of the stream where the music came through. Yeah. What can we say? Let's see. Sounds like having Alexa is like, yeah, sometimes it is. There's times that me and Joe will be downstairs watching TV and Alexa will start having a conversation up here. Like it sounds like she's talking to someone. Don't know who, don't know what. I don't even think I want to know who she's talking to. But sometimes it happens. Already Christmas music. I know. Ian says, I was studying Spanish and exercising, forgot it was a trading day. Oh, yes. Well, this is not a normal one, so you're forgiven. Larry says, don't bet all your money. Bet 4 times your money. There we go. That's what you got. Margin accounts. They're there for a reason, right? Jonathan says, just missed the bell, I think. Uh-oh. Yikes. Yeah. I'm sorry, Jonathan. I'm sorry. Paul says, big seller at the end of the day, 341. CG says, Premier Doug Ford's government has signed a $100 million deal with Elon Musk's SpaceX to deliver high-speed internet to remote residents in rural and northern Ontario. Fantastic. I'm a big fan, of being able to provide internet to some of these people who are, for all purposes, living out in the middle of nowhere. Some of them have to still, believe it or not, guys, a lot of remote places, there are people still using dial-up modems. And with this whole thing with SpaceX and these they're it's just it's just really good. I think that they can provide internet access at a really good speed. So I'm all for it completely. All right. Ian says, I'm 31% SPYI. I've got a habit of not diversifying enough. At least it's an index fund. Yeah, which is good. Which is definitely good. Jonathan sold all of his BAM. Bye-bye, Brookfield Asset Management. Now, I have a feeling you may have watched a video about BAM. I know that somebody had a video out there on BAM and why they were getting out of it. But I don't know if you watched that and that sort of influenced you. I did watch it. What was it? That was Daniel. What's his face? Prunk. Daniel Prunk. And I think with Daniel, he actually moved a lot into Brookfield Corporation, so BN. And keep in mind, guys, look, this here is Brookfield Asset Management. This is what's really been a surprise is Brookfield Corporation. Let me pull this one up and let's go to the last 1 year. Look at this. This one's been even more, kind of more steady. It's gone here from 46 to 80. So it's almost doubled. So yeah, no. If that's the move you made, not a bad move. I do like both Brookfield companies. All right. 9 says I heard pharma stocks will be tanking because of perhaps. Yeah, perhaps. I actually heard that would be happening. So it's kind of one of those things what can you do? What can you do? I just know, oh my God. So I got vaccinated yesterday. So yesterday I got my flu shot and my COVID update. I think I had a bad reaction last night. Last night I went to bed and I have this duvet. My duvet is very, very warm. Quite literally, if it's not cold enough in my room, I'm going to start sweating. That's how warm this duvet is. But I had the chills, and even this morning I was a little off when I got up. I'm like, ah. So, yeah. Maybe lesson learned, don't get 2 vaccinations at the same time. Oh, dear. At least I shouldn't get sick this summer. This is winter. Although I'm not really protected from the common cold, so we'll see how this all rolls out over the summer for sure. Let's see. Paul says, from my Invest Answers Discord, next week's call waits for MicroStrategy is crazy. Huge at 4:30, then 5:25. No puts. What does a call wall mean? A call. I've never actually heard it called a call wall, so I don't actually know. But let me see if I can find out here for you. All right. There we go. Just see if I can get something here. I may have heard it in a. Let's see. All right. So basically, what I'm getting here is a call wall refers to a price level in the underlying asset where there is a significant accumulation of open interest and call options. Okay. It's sort of looked at as being a resistance point. Oh, very interesting. Okay. Now, there we go. I don't know if that clarifies things a little bit. In my mind, I kind of get an idea now, I think, what that is. But, all right, let's pull that back up. Call wall. I love it. Some of the names. Missy says, you make coffee look so delicious, you could do a coffee commercial. What kind of coffee are you drinking? In the morning? No, let's do just a second. We're going to do this. All right. Here we go. In the morning, I like to start my day off with a hot, piping mug of Maxwell House. It makes me mellow. It makes the day so much better. It's fantastic. In fact, it's good to the last drop. All right. We'll just let's forget that last 5 seconds just happened. We'll leave it. We'll leave it at that. But why not? Paul says, HODL, so HODL, Soul Strategies, and Neptune Digital Assets, but they are very volatile. Yeah, exactly. That's in reference to companies that are, sort of looking like MicroStrategy. Now, Neptune Digital Assets, I mean, they basically hold a crypto, but once again, pretty. I want to love Neptune Digital Assets, but they just haven't performed. They have no debt, which is nice. You guys know I love that, but yeah, they just never perform. Jonathan says, so the A word is busy summoning the demons upstairs. Exactly. Well, that's what we'll do. We'll call her the A word from now on, just so that we don't accidentally trigger her. Let's see. Patricia says, got out of Neptune Digital. I felt it was time for me. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Neptune Digital Asset, they've been around for a long time. They've had a lot of promise. They just have not lived up to it. Even as crypto has gone through, quite a bull market, Neptune just, you would expect them to have done a lot better than they have. So I don't have a lot of faith. I don't have a lot of faith in Neptune, unfortunately. Ian says, dial-up would be nearly useless with today's internet. Guess it's better than nothing. Yeah, I mean, pretty much with a dial-up connection, I think the most you can really do is maybe go on like Facebook. Maybe look at some websites, like maybe stay away from the ones that are really graphic intensive. But yeah, you would not be able to do well, let's just say YouTube. I don't think you'd be able to watch a YouTube channel on a dial-up. Now I know you can turn down the quality of your videos, so I don't know if that would help, but it is something. All right, let's see here. Are there Canadian brokers that work through TradingView? That's a really good question. I don't know the answer, but yeah, I'll keep my eyes open, see if I can find some. But yeah, I mean, I use TradingView. I mean, basically, the reason I'm using TradingView is it kind of works like with National Bank. So when we're looking at National Bank, what happens with National Bank is when you're looking at your pricing is delayed. It's delayed 15 minutes. However, when you go to when you pull up a sell or a buy order, you get live pricing on that. So here's what I do. So when I'm trading, I'll use TradingView to see my live prices. I'll watch the charts. I'll watch where things are going. And then when I see movement that I'm looking for, I will then go into the National Bank and I'll pull up the buy or sell depending on which I'm going to be doing. And then I have my up-to-date pricing there. So then I will use that up-to-date pricing just to make the final, let's buy it, or maybe I'll throw in a limit order, things like that. So definitely interesting. Okay, Paul says, if you are a qualified investor, you can use Hive to buy XAI and SpaceX, Starlink, for pre-IPO shares, but a minimum 25K investment. Too rich for me. Yeah. And I'm trying to remember. I think the rules to be a qualified investor is you've got to have a certain amount of cash. I don't, for some reason, 100,000 pops into my head, but I have a feeling that it's higher than that. That'd be interesting. I should probably, I don't know if that's not really enough to do a video on at all. All right, JJ's in the house with a hello all. And Missy says, I watched the new video on BAM. I was a bit upset as I just bought it. So you're talking about the Daniel Pronk. I'm still fine with BAM. I have no intention to sell it. So I'm going to hold on to it for sure. All right. Joja is in the house. Brand new person. Hi, Joja. Good to see you. Hello, Candace. I recently started watching your videos and I subscribed right away. Well, thank you for that sub. I always love, and you guys know, you guys have been here for a while. I love it when I see somebody brand new in the chat. I'm like, woohoo, a new person. Love it, love it, love it. Let's see. The market kind of took a dump today. Yeah, absolutely. Now, also, there was another factor as well. I almost forgot. There were a crazy amount of options were expiring today as well. That also helped bring in the red too. So just something to keep in mind. Paul says, so stupid, so stupid federal government are spending on CanSat to copy Starlink. Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. I don't think that we need. This is kind of my perspective. I mean, I like competitors. It keeps prices down, but if we want a global internet around the world, by satellite, if we have a whole bunch of different companies doing it, that's a lot of stuff up in the sky. Space junk is a problem. And it'll get to the point that every time you see something in the sky, it's like, is that a star, or is that Starlink, or is that CanSat? I don't know who it is. So, yeah, I kind of would like there to just be one, and I hate to say that. And I don't know if it should automatically be Starlink. Maybe there should be some kind of a system. I don't know how to solve it. I just don't want to see a lot of space junk up there. All right. Joe says true. GID says not worried about myocarditis with the COVID shot. I'm not worried. I'm not really that worried at all. But I just sort of I'm kind of like I don't. Yeah. Honestly, I don't care. Right now, let's just say the amount of cases of that are so small that I don't think it's a huge concern. Larry says, yes, my beautiful Regeneron is down from 1,200 to 750. Sold it all at 950 and started rebuying now. All right. JJ says, welcome Joja to our beginner-friendly community. All right. 9 is in the house. Missy says, my second shot of Moderna almost killed me. I had feelings like I was being electrocuted. Oh, yikes. Yeah. Like, I know the first couple, I had no issues. It's only this one where I got 2 that I had any kind of a reaction at all. All right. And let's see here. Let's see. I just have to get Regeneron COVID shot. Its antibody stops all versions of COVID. There we go. Mohammed says, hi, Candace. REITs are tanking. Do you think they bottomed? That's a good question. That's a really good question. I think they have to be getting close. Like, I know that, and let's pull up, we'll pull up, sorry. I got to bring up the window if we're going to look at them. Whoops. All right, here we go. Come on up. There we go. It's working now. Yeah, let's take a look at RioCan for a moment. All right. So yeah, I mean, we've had a little bit of a retracement. So when we go, and I'm going to go to just 6 months because this is fine. You can see that we did have, this was the beginning of rate cuts. So REITs do respond to rate cuts, and I think it's going to get better. We've had a bit of a correction. Sure, absolutely. But we have, during this correction, had another 50 basis point rate cut. We've probably got another 50 basis points coming in December. I would be surprised if it wasn't. These are going to, like, we've already started leveling out here. So bottom-wise, yeah, I would say that we're probably... Now, mind you, and I want to be very clear, I have no inside knowledge to say this is the bottom definitively. It's more of an opinion. I think I don't see us going down much further before we start our next bound up. So I know with me, this month around in the challenge, I bought 10 more RioCan. I bought 10 more Timber Creek Financial, and I bought 10 more RMAX. And I was happy to get them at cheaper prices. So yeah, I'm still pretty bullish on REITs in general. So, even if it goes down a little bit lower than where we're at, I still think we're looking at some good price zones. All right. Let's see. JJ says, I was listening to my mic on the record yesterday, and it's super echoey weird. Oh, interesting. Let's see. Missy says, love it, yum, Maxwell House. Paul says, problem at my Invest Answers Discord. They often mention selling a call when it really was a month out covered call. Okay, interesting. Jackie. Oh, that's funny. Sorry, Jackie. Jackie says, Missy, me too. Both arms were tingling and went numb. Thank goodness it went away 15 minutes later. JJ says Maxwell Instant Brew is, and it's, yeah, I know. JJ's not a fan of the instant coffee, but I love it. I love it. And I know why. I know why, because that was the first coffee I think I ever had. Like, quite literally, growing up, I had no coffee. I had tea every so often. I really didn't start drinking coffee until third year biochem. That certainly addicted me to coffee because I had, and that's actually interesting. Biochem, my third year biochem is the only exam that I have ever done an all-nighter to cram for. Only exam ever that I needed to do it. But if you have not taken biochemistry, you probably don't understand what you're in for. Anybody who has taken biochemistry is probably like, yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that. All right. 9 says, here we go. I love caffeine, but I can't do instant coffee unless there is literally nothing else. And that's fine. And this is, like, I admit, almost everybody I meet would prefer brewed coffee. Almost everybody. I'm an outlier. I'm an outlier with my instant coffee. Definitely. All right. Ooh, Patricia got a profit with Neptune. That's absolutely good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm absolutely glad to hear that. And I really think moving that money into something else, you're probably better off long-term, Patricia. Jonathan says, the best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. There we go. We should all start making... I had an idea. So I've been thinking about that 5,000 subs, which is probably coming up in December. And I've been... Hi, kitten. Yes, she's being very vocal. So I've been thinking about that 5,000 subs, and one idea that I was talking to Jill last night was what if we had a live stream where we had a contest? So I don't know what the prize is, but we'll have a prize. And I will ask basic finance questions. And, basically, you guys answer them. Whoever gets the most answers during the stream, and I'm still kind of working it out, would win whatever the prize is. Whether it be an Amazon gift card or who knows. I don't know yet, but it's just a thought. It's just a thought. Let me know what you guys think of that. I've been trying to come up with ideas that are not skydiving, Jonathan. So no skydiving. All right. Paul says qualified investor included net house equity. 9 says, yes, I love a green tea for the good health benefits. And I absolutely agree here. I do love matcha. Matcha is completely awesome. I'm not super, I'm okay with chai, but I don't think I'm perfectly good with it. Like, when it comes to tea, I think my favorite is actually Earl Grey. I do like Earl Grey, and I love matcha, but they're probably tied. Let's see. Jay says, yes, bring all satellite service to Canada. Anything else is better than Rogers Internet monopoly. Yeah. I'm not a fan of Rogers, as you guys already probably know. Let's see. Candace is healthy enough. These severe side effects are super rare. Plus, I believe she got the seasonal influenza shot, which is completely safe, not COVID. I got both. I think that was my mistake, is getting both at the same time. Next year I might split them up. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Actually, I got 3. I also had a couple of weeks ago, I got a pneumonia shot. I'm like, my doctor's like, would you like it? I'm like, okay, sure, why not? Paul says the COVID shot, when it goes badly, when it is already wrong with those people that they have problems. Yeah. I mean, some people, I will admit, like, probably the worst Funny thing is, second year university, I was taking microbiology, so I thought this would be a good year to get the flu stock because I'm around germs all the time. So I got the flu shot that year, and I ended up with a really bad flu. I was just like, probably not from the shot. I think it's just that they, because what they do is they pick the strain they think is most likely to come through your area, and I think that year they completely picked wrong. So yeah, and you know, I don't like having the flu. All right, let's see. JJ says Moderna stock has been a dumpster fire for a long time now. You think it'll ever pull back? Um, it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while. I think when you're looking at some of the anti-vaccination movements out there, there's a lot of negativity, I think, towards both Pfizer and Moderna. They do a lot of other stuff. This is the thing. They do a lot of other drugs that are really good and beneficial, but I think we kind of have to move a little bit beyond where we're at now for things to for basically for people to start looking at them for what they do and not that one little thing that they did type thing. So anyway, we'll see, but I do think they will suffer for a little bit. Missy says, I was at the lake first time I saw Starlink, and of course I knew nothing about it, and my boyfriend and I thought we were being invaded by aliens. No joke. That's quite literally the first time I saw a Starlink up in the sky. I was looking at it, I'm like, what is that? Is that like a UFO or something? I didn't know what it was. I tried to take a picture of it. And no idea. And just recently there was something else up there, and I was like, that doesn't look like a Starlink. I don't know what that is, but there's lots of lights in the sky. What can I say? All right. Joe says, Stella Jones is pretty low. Do you think it's a good value? I do like, I like Stella Jones. Let's come back over here. I do still have it up. Okay. Here's Stella Jones. Now I had them in the challenge, but I did get out because I was thinking that my money would be better off elsewhere at that time. But, let's just see. You can sort of see they were doing really well. I kind of got out somewhere in this area here. But yeah, look at this. I still think they're going to bounce back. But yeah. Now, another similar company that I do like as well, Acadian Timber Corp, ADN. And I'll show you these guys over the last year. So they're pretty volatile, but they have been moving in the right direction. So this is another one I like. I do like Acadian Timber as well as Stella Jones. And, with Stella Jones being as low as it is, I'm almost tempted to bring them back into the challenge. So if they stay low into December, I might do that. All right. Ian says, I've been buying RealCam with my dividends, not going to put anything cash into my investments for a while. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Let's see here. 180 subs to go for the 5K. I know. It's not that many. It really, the thing is, if I get a video that comes out that absolutely explodes, that can easily, one video can easily add 20, 30, maybe even 50 subs. It's interesting. Well, let me just take a look here, guys. Let me see. Give me a moment here. All right. So our last video, so the blue chip video. So the 5 blue chip videos, when that came out, I'm just going to pull up the analytics. That one brought in 36 subs. So that's not even one of the big ones. Now, the really big one that I had recently was, just give me a second here. Let's see. The ETF tax secrets one. Now, that one exploded, and that one brought in 102 subs, one video. So that's all it takes, is if a video really, really resonates, it ends up working that way. Now, it is actually kind of interesting the way YouTube works. So what happens? I'll show you guys. Why not? We're here. That's from last night, guys. From the All right, let's just come down here. So when you release a video, so let's just put it here, video. We release a video. What YouTube does...
This might answer your question. Going In by Jennifer Lopez.
Alexa, stop. She's still at it. They will send it out to a small group of people. So basically, this type of... The people it sends it out to first is mostly you guys for a big part. So depending on how much views it gets here, if it has good views, then it will send it out to a larger group of people. If it has bad views, then it might send it out a little bit more, but not to a lot of people. It might send another small group to try to find where it might fit. And then if it has good views here, it'll get sent out to an even bigger group. And that's kind of the way it works. As long as it's getting the views each time, it gets pushed out further and further. So, and that's kind of the way that algorithm works. So when I say things like, you know, hit the like button and things like that, well, that there is helping it make that jump from here to here, you know, or from here to here, any type of engagement. And the fun thing is, so for example, if I drop it, and that's one of the reasons that the time of the day that you drop your video is very important, because you want to drop your video when most of your community is on, because then it gives it the better chance to drag it up here. Now, amazingly enough, I'm actually dropping it a little bit before most of the community is on. Every year, I'm moving it up an hour to get myself closer to that ideal time, because I don't want to move it much further. So there's one change to the channel, guys, next year. The videos next year will be dropping at 3 o'clock p.m. Woohoo, there we go. I love it. So yeah, 3 o'clock p.m. we'll be dropping the videos next year. We'll move it ahead an hour. I think the ideal time is between, I think, 4 and 6. So by 2026, we'll be up to 4 o'clock. But we're going to move it up 1 hour once we... Whoops, there we go. We'll move it up 1 hour for 2025. So all that fun. All right. Paul says, why did Warren Buffett buy into Domino's and some pool company? The simple answer is that he saw some value in them, because that's kind of, Warren Buffett is very much a value investor. So he wants to be able to see within a company that they're going to make money. That's what it really boils down to. If he sees the potential that he's looking for, he's going to invest in. So obviously, Domino's and this pool company, definitely, he saw value in it. Now, I don't know anything beyond that, though, but he does have calls. He does have calls that he comes out. Uh-oh, look at this. I just discovered, we got ourselves a super chat from Paul. That means that he's the GOAT. We got ourselves a GOAT. Welcome, Paul. Welcome to your role as the greatest of all time. All right. JJ says, Mountain Fin Trivia. Not a bad name. It's just an idea. I mean, I'm gonna basically allow you guys to, if you guys like it, maybe that's what we'll do. All right. Nine says, wow, almost 5K subs. Just noticed. Let's see. More Google survey winnings. Missy says, yes, a contest sounds fun. I'd have to study. Do the questions like a poll. Yeah, I don't know if it would be like a poll, because I can't tell who wins and how to award points. Yeah, it's something I'm gonna have to figure. I'll have to figure out sort of the way it would work. But it's kind of like in the early parts of an idea, because I'm looking at the subs and I'm like, okay, we may only have a month before we need to do this video, or this live. So yeah, we'll keep trying to refine it. One of the things I do worry is that with something like this, it might give an advantage to somebody, because the questions will be fairly easy. I'm not going to come up with really hard ones. I want very basic type questions. For example, it might be a question like, what is beta, or what does beta measure? That would be like, well, in that case there, that's going to be, of course, volatility, right? So beta measures volatility. and little questions like that. They'll be very, very basic. Um, I'll probably even throw in a couple of wildcard type questions. Like I might even just throw a zinger like, "What's your name?" And the first person that types in their name gets the point. So I like the idea of making it fun. So I'll figure it out as we go, and we'll have we'll be able to actually use the whiteboard for a leaderboard. I think that would be kind of cool. But yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I'll find a way to make it fun for sure. All right. Let's see, more Google survey winnings. I know Paul does those surveys. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. They tend to sneak in here, and I'm like, okay, cool. Missy says, yes, a contest sounds fun. I'd have to study, do the questions. Oh, I already read that, didn't I? All right. Let's see. Wait until RFK takes over. Oh, boy. JJ says, my initial goals after finishing my PhD in 3 years was to eventually work for Moderna since my area of expertise focuses on mRNA vaccines and lipid nanoparticles. Well, now I have some doubts. Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, messenger RNA, that technology is... there's so many places it can go beyond vaccines. There is a lot of potential for it to be used with cancer treatments and things like that. So you don't have to go vaccine wise, JJ. You could certainly take our mRNA off in another direction and maybe work on cancer, things like that. You gotta figure it out. You gotta figure it out. Tim says, Amazon is doing their own version of Starlink too. Lots of stuff up there soon. Oh God, yeah, I know. It's gonna be crowded. Let's see. You got to do a deep dive on yield max funds. I'll bring the something. Oh, I'll bring the fire. I did do a deep dive on yield max at one point, but you're right. They have had a lot of new funds that have come out since then. In just a second, I'm going to remove the goat. They've had a lot of new funds that have come out since then, so probably an updated deep dive or a list video or just a feature on them is not a bad idea. A 9 says, yeah, I try to like all your content so you get more viewers and subs. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Nis is in the house. Hello, Nis. It's always good to see you. Always very good to see you. JJ says howdy to Nis. Score, counter, and referee. Oh, is that what you want to do? Well, maybe we'll get it. Like I said, I'm sort of figuring it out. Bismarcky says, good Friday, everyone. Holy banana bread. Glad this work week is over. Yeah, absolutely. JJ says, or just finish and start my own company. Well, there you go. Missy says, JJ, we need a vaccine for cancer. Now, here's the thing. I don't think mRNA would be more of a vaccine for cancer, but it might be able to be used as a treatment vector. That's what I was thinking. But, JJ's been in a little bit deeper in it than I have. So, JJ may have some other insights for sure. Guys, let's take that final look at the market. We have not done that yet. All right. Here we go. We're still on Disney. Disney's a happy place. Here we go. We did finish in the red in the TSX, down 0.63. But look at this. We had a good end to the day. We actually had a couple of green candles to end the day. That's not too shabby. The S&P 500 down 1.32. But once again, look at this. Their last two candles also showed a little bit of a reversal there. NASDAQ, exact same story. Look at that. The last two candles, but they were down 2.40%. Dow Jones, they were down 0.70%. Their recovery candles in the last 2 hours, not as strong as others. Gold down 0.11, silver down 0.7, oil down 2.31. Probably was not a bad day to be playing HOD if you're into the inverse oil ETFs. Bitcoin having a pretty good day. Pretty strong upward. A little bit of a red in the last hour, but up 4.7%. Ethereum up 0.93. Tesla, look at this. They just had a pretty good day. Although mind you, they had a couple of bad. This week hasn't been good for Tesla, but Today's been a little bit better, though they are down a tiny bit in the post. And once again, NVIDIA had a good, strong finish. I gotta like that. But they are down a little bit here. No, they're up a little bit in the post, so that's not too shabby. So we will, of course, be looking at NVIDIA on Wednesday because their earnings call comes right after the bell. So it could be really, really, really interesting. So that's not too shabby. JJ said, now that you mention it, Candace, we're starting a new mRNA pilot project in February focused on targeting breast cancer. So, could be something. Yeah, absolutely. NVIDIA. Didn't I say NVIDIA? NVIDIA. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. I've been really good with it for the last little bit. All right, so once again, coming in here, as you can see, we got a lot of a red fest happening here. Let's actually look at the winners for the day. Let's pull them out. So as you can see, GFL up 1.65%. Bitfarms up here, Bitfarms, this is mining company, 6.73%. Hive up 3.32%. DeFi up 3.41%. Russell Metals up 1.75. So yeah, we got a little bit of stuff, a little bit of good stuff, a little bit. Coming over to the, we're still on Disney. And yeah, here's our winners in the US. But let's back out and take a look. As you can see, it was a pretty red day right across the board. Not a lot to write home about when it comes to the US. All right. Crypto, once again, mostly green. So not a bad day for crypto. Crypto having a strong day. You got to like it. All right. Mary says, this week in virology, accept podcast to keep up on what's happening. There you go, JJ. You could have your virus. You could have a virus podcast, and we'll bring it up. I could just see it next week on Viruses with JJ. We're going to talk about the T4 bacteriophage. Come on in. It's exciting. I don't know. We'll just leave it at that. Tom says, I have HPYT and HPYM too much. They've both dropped substantially. Hold and collect dividends or sell for tax loss harvesting. Thoughts? Let's go over. Let's take a look. Boop-a-doo. All right, we'll start with the HPYT. Here we are. So once again, this is your Harvest Premium Yield Treasury. All right, let's pull this up. Yeah, so yeah, they've they have dropped substantially, absolutely. Now, one of the interesting things is, if we go, there's a lot of people that think that we're heading for a recession. I think we are too. I just don't think it's as soon as a lot of people think. This is a type of stock that when we do go into a recession, it'll do well. It'll do a lot better. It will, but here's the thing. How long are you willing to wait and how low are you willing to go? That's that whole thing with that. I would be more interested in a ETF, especially when it deals with treasury and bonds, that holds a lot more short-term bonds. And the reason I say short-term is because they are less sensitive to rate hikes and rate cuts. So those tend to help stabilize an ETF for sure. But yeah, this one is not looking good at all, and I think it might be a while before we get that. Like recession-wise, I think the earliest we would possibly see a recession, and this is the earliest, might be like Q2 of 2025. But even then, I'm not sure. And a lot of things are going to be. There's going to be a lot of interesting things, I think, that happen between, as we move further into 2025 to sort of see how things are going to go. Like, for one, up here in Canada, we could be looking at maybe there's a vote in non-confidence that come in. Maybe we go into the election cycle in the spring. That'll be interesting all in itself. But yeah, right now, this one doesn't have me very excited. Let's look at your other one here. What was your other one, Tom? Let me take a look here. So tax loss harvesting, maybe not a bad idea on that one. HPYM. All right. All right, here we go. All right, so this is 7 to 10 year treasury. And when we pull this one up, we'll pull up the year. You can sort of see we kind of get that same thing. It's one of these things where you have to sort of look at. So generally, what happens is when interest rates go down. Oh, let's just go over to this thing here again. I like my my thing. So when we'll look at here, so rates. There we go. So when rates go down, what will happen with a bond is the price goes up. Because the price goes up, the yield goes down. Because it's still like the coupon on that bond, it's a fixed amount, right? So when the value of the bond goes up, the yield goes down. Now keep in mind, one of the interesting things about this is that when you're looking at new bonds, they then become less desirable. Why? Because you're getting a smaller yield. In those cases, you're much better off, looking at things like REITs or maybe utilities. There's just so many other options out there that can give you a better yield. So that's one of the reasons that you'll see people sort of shying away from bonds when the rate cuts are coming down. Like at new bonds, the old bonds are fine. Like, whatever you bought your old bond at, you're fine. I mean, you're still gonna get that same yield, and you still get that same term. But yeah, it's just kind of that interesting thing with bonds. Now, when you have sort of short-term bonds, all right. So short-term bonds. It's kind of the same thing, but it's because you don't have that bond for a long time. It's very much greatly reduced. So you may get a little up when it comes to the bond price, and you may get a little down, but it's very isolated because you're not looking at it over longer terms, and these are being cashed in pretty fast. So when you have an ETF that has a good, healthy amount of these, that does stabilize it quite a bit. But yeah, with these ones here, tax loss harvesting is not a bad idea. Between the two of them, if I was going to hold on to one, it would probably be this one here, the Harvest Premium 7 to 10. But even then, if you need the tax loss harvesting, these are fine candidates for sure. JJ saying that they're not going to rebound in price too much. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit. It's going to take some time for sure. All right. Temperance Ministry says BCE and CSIQ are crashing. Why, and will 2025 be better? All right. So BCE. Bell. One of the big things is Bell is kind of in this situation. Like, I think Bell came to the realization that there's not much room to grow in Canada. Between Bell, TELUS, and Rogers, it's pretty capped. That's the reason that they made this big move to purchase that West Coast company in the U.S. So by buying that and getting their fingers into the U.S. market, they're hoping that, okay, well, if we can't grow in Canada, let's grow in the U.S. It's not a bad plan. One of the problems is, though, they hold a lot of debt. So when they went and sold Maple Leaf Sports or Entertainment to Rogers, everybody thought they were going to take that money and pay down some of their debt. So people got a little bit excited about Bell because of that. But they didn't. They actually put it towards this U.S. West Coast telecom. So by doing it that way, sure, it means that they didn't have to take on a whole bunch of extra debt, but it didn't improve their situation any. And a lot of investors haven't liked this move, and as a result, they've basically there's been a sell-off, and that has helped drive BCE down a bit. Now, of course, BCE didn't help when they announced that they were not going to raise their dividend this year. meaning that they're no longer going to be a dividend aristocrat. So here, we'll pull them up here and we'll take a look. Like, you can sort of see this has not gone over well. Now, will they cut their dividend? I didn't think they would until they decided to forego being a dividend aristocrat. So now there's nothing really, there's no pride on the line. So if it makes sense, they could certainly cut that dividend. I mean, right now it is sitting at a pretty high yield. So right now it's at 10.572%. So they could certainly do that. Absolutely. Will they? I don't know. They do have a good moat. They have a good size moat, but even then, I'm looking at this and I'm like, this has got me a little bit scared. I still think long term they're going to be fine, but how long are you willing to wait? Like, I have bought some down here, and I'll let them sit in the challenge. They may be my worst performing stock for probably the next 6 months. But I'm confident they're going to get back up at one point. It's just right now we need to get past kind of where we're at now. And honestly, if they cut the dividend, you're going to have more people leave. That will push them down further. If that happens, I will probably buy more because I do see them rebalancing on the, sort of bouncing back up on the other side of all of this. So now the other one you said was CSIQ. Let's take a look here. CSIQ. So this is Canadian Solar. All right. So I'm not super familiar with Canadian Solar, but it's a U.S. company, so that's fine. Let's take a look and see what have they done. So yeah, they've been moving down pretty consistently. That's unfortunate. Well, they are profitable, so that's good. Just give me a second here. Let's go in and take a couple looks at a couple things here. I got no data on a whole bunch of stuff here. Oh, that's not good. I always hate it when I don't get the data, but sometimes that is simply because it's an American company. So let me just take a look here. We'll go to Yahoo Finance and see if we can get some data. All right, so this is CSIQ. All right, here we go. Canadian Solar. There we go. All right, let's go over to their stats. All right, so now let's take a look and see what we got. All right, we got a bit. They got a lot of debt. So 4.17 billion. It's a debt to equity ratio of 107.93%. Oh yeah, so they definitely have a little bit of debt. Now, rate cuts will help, but here's the thing. The US is doing so well that there's no real need. Like, they can pause the rate cuts at any time. Even right now, the odds of a rate cut in December are about 66%. That's not great. It doesn't instill confidence in me. So we'll have to sort of see how that all turns out. But yeah, CSIQ, like I said, you got a good amount of debt there. I don't see anything exciting yet at this point. So will 2025 be better? Maybe if the U.S. does continue to rate cut, but the U.S. and even Powell came out this week and said that there's really no rush for the rate cuts for the U.S. because the economy is still doing really well. But mind you, if we start to go into a recession in the U.S., you'll probably see some rate cuts come in, and that will certainly help them a little bit. But at the same time, going into a recession, there's other factors as well that come up as well. Paul says, are mortgage fixed rates going up again? Probably, I would say right now, I would say no, depending on when you get in. I mean, right now we're in, like in Canada, we've got a lot of rate cutting still to do. So that is going to pull rates down. New fixed rates anyway. Old fixed rates, of course, stay the same. But I imagine, though, there'll still be opportunities ahead to get better deals than what you would have right now. So for myself, if I had a mortgage that was coming up right now, I would probably go with a variable rate, and I would take the shortest amount of the smallest span that I could get on it, because I would want to be switching to probably to fixed once we get to the end of the rate cuts. At least that's what I would be doing. HPYT, didn't I just looked at them, I think. Yeah, HPYT, yeah. Yeah, my take on that right now is just that, as I mentioned up ahead for back there for Tom, is that right now I don't see a lot of upside for them. Not until, we slip into a recession. Now, I do know, like, I believe Nine has been stocking up on some Treasury ETFs. It's not a bad idea as a hedge against a recession when that does happen. But I just don't see it happening anytime soon. Let's see. Paul says BCE. So Bell attracts yield chasers, but eventually they get burned. Yeah, I mean, that does happen in some cases. Especially if they do get to a point that they cut their dividend. That will definitely... Well, that's the whole problem, though. You cut your dividend, you lose, you get a lot of selling pressure. So that drives your price down even further. So it's not good. It's not a good situation where BCE is at. And that might be a consideration for not cutting the dividend. Because, right now they're like at, I think it's a 12, maybe 13-year low. It's pretty crazy. All right. There we go. All right. Ian says, BCE could have raised their dividend a penny and kept status. They did not, so I can see a dividend cut coming. Yeah, and that's where I was going, is that, because they have dropped that status, the rules are, there's no incentive for them to not cut, other than, if they feel like, and they don't have to cut much. They could do a small cut, and that, that would sort of minimize the damage. But we'll have to see. I mean, I am still bullish on Bell overall for long term, but there could be some more short term pain. But keep in mind too, this is the other big thing too. Each time we get a rate cut, that is really helping with their debt, with at least with the servicing on that debt, because that's coming down big time. All right, let's see here. CG says, I am all VDY and XEQT, but I picked up some Superior Plus Corp today, looking for a swing trade. Okay, fair enough. I mean, a VDY and XEQT, I mean, those are very blue chip ETFs. I call them your circle the wagon, hold forever ETFs, so they're fantastic for sure. And CG says, not a fan of single stocks, but I did pick up some Superior Plus Corp today, looking for a swing trade. Yeah, Superior Plus Corp. Well, let's pull up. Just give me a second here. Where the heck am I? Let's take a look and see what swing trade you're looking at here. SUPERIOR, Superior Plus Corp. Here we go. All right. Okay, I can see some. I'm just gonna go to the. Let's go to the 6 months. All right, so you're picking this up here. You're hoping to get a rebound, maybe back up to 6-7 or something like that. Is that kind of where you're looking at? Let's see here. Yeah, no, I mean, this looks fine here. Give me 1 second here. I just want to pull up some data. Okay. Well, they've been pretty reliable in their dividend, though they did cut their dividend. And you'll see, there we go. We were talking about a dividend cut. There we go. There's another dividend cut. Oh boy, they have a lot of debt, 193%. But keep in mind, you're not looking at this as a long term. You're sort of looking at trying to get a bounce back. It's possible. I think with this company right now, let's go back to the overview. I would maybe put in, I don't know, I would have an exit strategy just in case it doesn't work out. But there is a possibility that you could get back up. I mean, let's go to their 3-year for a moment. The problem is it's been such most of their bounces up, as you can see, from 997 to, well, this one here, that wasn't so bad. That's 11. If you could get a bounce like that, that would certainly be good for a swing trade. But have an exit strategy for this one. This one, I don't have a lot of confidence. I just don't feel like I have a lot of confidence in it. But I hope you get that swing that you're looking for. Oops, sent that 2 times. Oh yeah, no problem. Oops. Oh, guys, I almost missed this. All right, we got a new goat. We got Tom with a super chat. Thank you very much, Tom. All right, so we got a new goat. Awesome. All right, I was about to get to Ian here. Here we go. Is the dividend sustainable with BCE? Um, Here's the thing. I mean, they have a lot of cash. They have a pretty good moat. So yes, it can be sustainable. Um, and here, now I have not checked out them since they're. I think they had a recent. Give me 1 second here. Let's pull up something. I'm gonna come over here to Simply, just because I don't want to do math in my head at the moment. All right, BCE. Let's pull it up here. Here we go. All right. So right now, yeah, their dividend's not covered. So they don't have the cash flow that's going on there right now. However, all right, let's come into here for a moment. All right, they got a little bit. They got about 2.6 billion sitting around. That's fine. So technically, mathematically, it's not sustainable, but let's just we'll pull this in here. So right now, you got a couple of ways that you can look at. So this is by earnings coverage. So their payout ratio 4,301%. So that's scary. Now, if you look at cash flow coverage, which is basically using their cash flow, we're a little bit high, 123. So this is probably more accurate. So no, are they sustainable? Technically not, but they do have a fair amount of cash. Just a second here. Let me see if I can get to. Let's get out of their debt. Let's get out of their future growth. All right, I don't want that. Oops, here we go. That's not what I was looking for. Here we go. Here's what I'm looking at. So right now, if you sort of take a look here, actually we want to be right here. So this here was, okay, yeah, we're still looking at the next one is December 30th. Okay, so we're still looking at September 29th. So right now they have, right now their revenue is like 24.46 billion. That's a good amount. However, right now their earnings are only 84 million. So yeah, they're suffering a little bit. They are definitely suffering a little bit right now, but they do have, just give me a second here. Let's pull this up here. All right, we don't want to look at that. All right. Yeah, like this right now, in the short term, if you take a look at this, asset-wise, 8.81 billion, liabilities much higher. So they have a lot of pain. You know what? It kind of would make sense to cut that dividend. I guess it's not going to surprise me. Just looking at these numbers right now, I'm like, you know what? It kind of does make sense. So maybe they're going to cut it, Ian. Maybe they are. They're going to have selling pressure if they do. But yeah, the fun of BCE. What can I say? Jungle says lots of people touting Palantir. What are your thoughts? Well, here's the thing. I think with Palantir, I understand that there's a lot of people that tote it. I kind of try to leave it alone, only because I know that a lot of people have issues with Palantir, as in ethical issues. So I try to not really talk a lot about it for that simple reason, because I don't want to alienate the people who have ethical issues against them. But no, they have been doing good, and if that is within your ethics, it's a solid stock. It is a solid stock. They have absolutely been doing well. But it's just one of the ones I do avoid. Every so often there's some stocks. I try to avoid stocks that have to do with a war, things like that. Probably, yeah. It's just I'll leave it at that. Let's see here. Michael says, let's see, BCE earnings was less and could be going lower. Yeah, well, let me actually take a gander here. Give me a second here. Yeah, well, they're actually, here's the thing though. Most analysts have been predicting. Now, this here, though, is September. In September, analysts were predicting their earnings were going to be going up significantly. I would be very interested to see how things are going to look with that in December when we get that next report. That to me is going to be very interesting to compare how this is all, and even the Q1 when we get into 2025. That one will also be interesting with Bell to sort of see what happens. Bell right now, this is kind of my honest opinion on Bell is that, you know, they will bounce back eventually. There's going to be a little bit of pain along the way, but you know, if you're on a long-term, if you've got a long-term outlook on them, then some of these low prices actually could be a big deal when you sort of look at where they're going to be on the other side of all of this. So just something to keep in mind. All right, Paul says in the U.S., the 30-year rate is 6.875%, so hurting sales. Yes. Michael says Pfizer looks oversold with 0.42 dividend and profits getting higher, and RFK can't do anything against drug companies that save people lives every day. Nis says, do you have any take on LNG tankers like Cool Company, Alico? So yeah, liquefied natural gas. I'm bullish on them long term. Right now, we're at a point that there's a little bit of a surplus at this point. So I know, I think there was an article today in Bloomberg about Canadian oil companies not being able to export as much because the demand is just down right now. So I think we're going to see some good buying opportunities in a lot of companies like within oil, energy, obviously liquefied natural gas as well. That could be opportunity for sure. But right now, and even today, oil was like down again. Look at this. Where is it? Right over here. Down 2.33%. So yeah, I mean, you can sort of see oil has been on this trend for a while. It's been coming down. Like all the way back here. This here is this is early November. I'm on the hourly, but right now the trend is down. Until, I mean, if we get another flare up in the Middle East, that will certainly change things. But I think right now, we're going to be looking at better opportunities. Now, you could, if you want to, you could always play an inverse ETF on these. I always say be careful with them, though, because when oil turns around, you can lose a lot of money at the same time. But you can make money as they are coming down. All right. Ian says, yeah, if Bell cuts their dividend, I will consider buying into them. Yeah, absolutely. Keep in mind, when they do get to the other side of all of this, and they start to improve their fundamentals, they'll probably end up raising the dividend again, because once they get back up in value, that yield will come down considerably. Because when you look at the yield and you see 10%, you got to remember that they're normally a much bigger company when it comes to market cap. So that is definitely pulling things down for sure. All right, let's get rid of the goat. Let's get rid of the goat. Guys, if you got your last minute questions, now is the time. We've been at this for about an hour and a half. So drop them in the chat. We'll definitely get to them. While you guys are doing that, let's head over to the Discord. And here is our schedule. Oh boy, look at this. Got a whole bunch of things here that we've already done. Here we go. Market close. That's all done. There we go. All right. Up next, guys, we have, of course, Sunday. We will have our This Week. So, I've been working on that today. Got a whole bunch of stories for that one. Of course, one of the big ones, story-wise, is Postal strike has begun. So we'll talk a little bit about that Postal strike. Coming up on Tuesday, we've got Investing Easy Mode. We're going to look at some income ETFs. So that's going to be fun. I know there's a lot of people that love the income ETFs for sure. We got a deep dive coming up on the 22nd. Now, I have left that one blank for now because I did have my conversation with Evolve. So I have talked to Evolve, and they have agreed to sponsor the channel. So we're looking at about 3 videos. I don't know how long, like how we'll probably have one soon, and maybe one a month or something like that. So we're gonna have that opportunity to get some of that into the channel. So that's always kind of exciting to have a sponsor. It means means a little bit of money pumped into the channel. I mean, that's not too shabby for sure. So that's coming up. Maybe by this date. I don't know. It depends on how fast they are. I think there's a bunch of contract stuff that has to be done. But it may even be like December 6th. So I'll figure it out. If it doesn't look like, if things aren't moving fast enough, I'll get a vote out for this one pretty soon then. All right. Let's see. Paul says SpaceX is up the last 3 months, 131% on Hive. Yeah, I can believe it. What is a good buy price for CNR? They're at a good buy price right now, actually. Let me pull this up here. All right, CNR. So right now they closed the day at 153. They're actually right under my adjusted cost base. So, so that's not too shabby. But yeah, I mean, let's actually go. We'll track out a little bit. So you can sort of see here. They've been up for most of the year. Now, let's actually go back a little further. Let's go to 3 years. Yeah, so I mean, the last time they've been as low as they are right now was back in, October of 2023. So it's been a year. I still love this company. I think that as long as, I don't even want to say as long as, they are basically our only real option for pulling a lot of the minerals from the north and transporting them down. So they're definitely a great company for that. We also have, of course, CP. CP is fantastic because they have tracks that go from Canada, the U.S. right into Mexico. CNR only goes down as far as the Gulf of Mexico, so the southern states. But and there's actually I'll talk about it on this week. There is kind of some concern about the reliability of the Canadian supply chain. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about it again. Jackie says, congrats on the sponsor. Thank you. And oh yeah, I think I missed Enid. It's good to see you, Enid. Let's see, CNR at 150. I'll buy again. Yeah, we're pretty close to that right now. All right. Temperance says thanks, and we get a congrats from Mary. All right. Tom says might be a toughie. I can take CPP as of now, or put it off and get 8.4% each year. Not relying on it. Take it now and invest or wait. It really boils down. This is kind of the way I look at it. Some people will take it early because they're like, you know what? I can take it and I can invest it and I can make more money than I will get if I let it build up by delaying it. It really boils down to, in my case here, I'm like, okay, that's fair enough. But you always have to take into consideration, what if we have a bear market in there? Or what if we go into a recession? Then you're not going to. And by taking it early, you could end up with less overall. However, with that being said, if you really, if you're in a situation where it's not going to, it's not really going to hurt you, like you've got enough income going into retirement, and you just want more income, and plus you're really healthy and you've got a history of living long, it can make sense to delay it. It can definitely. But it really boils down to whether or not you want to take it early and invest it and try to outperform what you would have gotten if you waited. Personally, myself, when I get to the age that I can take CPP, I'm probably going to take it early. But that's a personal decision. I would rather take it and invest it, but you have to decide what you want to do, and it usually boils down to what your resources are looking like. So, all right. Andrew says looks like PRL is having another bottom and is quite undervalued at the moment. Yes, good old PRL. Let's pull up Propel. There we go. Propel Holdings. Here we go. Yeah, there's a little bit of a bottom there. But normally, I mean, this company has been doing really, really well. Um, and I know, Andrew, you bring it up a lot, but I think it's a good company. I do like what we're seeing here. So, they're doing well with their investments for sure. So definitely a good company. All right, guys. I think we're at the end. I think we're at the end for the day. Enjoy your weekend. Hopefully you guys all have something planned for the weekend. We will be back here, of course, on Sunday for this week. It'll be a fantastic show, and of course, a huge shout out to Paul and Tom who dropped the super chats today. Always appreciate both of you. All right, actually, wait a minute. I can't do that. I need to be full screen. All right, give me a second. Let's get us over here to full screen. Whoops, that's the wrong full screen, guys. Oh, dear. I have different full screens for different modes that we're in. But until then, guys, we'll be back here on Sunday. I can't wait. Thank you for being here. Take care. We will see you soon. Bye, everybody.